Cities and towns hold the greatest promise, as well as the greatest challenge for the future of human existence. They are the most vibrant economic zones, and in aggregate, they generate about 75% of global GDP. They provide millions of jobs to our people, and as multicultural and multiracial centers, they foster cross-cultural integration. Properly planned urban spaces are therefore vessels for innovation and technological transmission. The United Nations Environmental Programme estimates that half of the world's population lives within 60 kilometers of the sea. And historically, cities have been located on coastlines, by rivers and by lakes. And as we have been told, 8 of the top 10 largest cities in the world are coast located. This is because there are many transport, food, and ecological benefits. Products traditionally flow into countries through their ports, and this has set a precedent for populations to naturally migrate to coastal areas. But our cities and towns are also experiencing serious challenges which threaten to slow down the vibrancy and growth potential. For example, over 748 million people lack access to clean and safe water for drinking, and another 2.5 billion around the world lack decent sanitation systems. Second, we need to improve the resilience of our communities. Our grand vision should not just be about building cities and towns, but rather also about creating jobs and livable neighborhoods for our communities. We need livable neighborhoods where design encourages people to walk or cycle or use efficient and affordable public transport. We therefore highlight 4 areas that we should focus on to address the challenge that we face in our urban areas. The first is sustainability. The challenge is both clear and urgent. 2/3 of the global population is expected to live in our cities by 2050. Further, urban areas account for 70% of the emissions that are propelling the planet into climate unknown. As more people crowd into coastal areas, they put pressure both on the land and the sea. Natural landscapes and habitats are altered. The floodplains around our estuaries are built over. Increasing volumes of waste, particularly sewage, are sluiced into the coastal waters and soils, and our beach sands are often overexploited, all at great economic as well as ecological cost. We therefore urgently need to give priority to resource use implementations and environmental impacts of urbanization. In planning the cities, we need to make them more compact to avoid urban slump and economize on the land under concrete. Third, we need to protect the environment. We must continue protecting and preserving public green spaces. Pollution and waste management is the greatest threat from all our cities. Inefficient transport systems and buildings produce about 50% of the greenhouse gases, contributing significantly to undesirable climate change. This requires urgent attention from all of us all over the world. One of the biggest resulting threats to cities around the world is also the sea level rise. caused by the expansion of water at higher temperatures and the melting ice sheets on the North and South Poles. Recent studies by our scientists estimate that 275 million people worldwide live in areas that will eventually be flooded at 3 degrees of global warming. Although sea levels will not rise instantaneously, the calculated increase will be locked in, and at a temperature rise of 3 degrees centigrade, meaning that they will be irreversible, even if warming eventually slows down. Similarly, we should innovate and deploy renewables to make our buildings, transport, and industries more energy efficient. We can utilize waste by moving from waste management to resource management and reducing as well as reusing and recycling materials. And fourth, strong accountability and transparency mechanisms are also imperative. Societies thrive when they are open and transparent, and when public participation in policy and decision making is optimal. We need to devise new and innovative ways of engaging the creativity of our citizens in order to tap into their genius and innovations. This conference, I believe, is therefore timely. Your diverse experiences across the world, the challenges you face, as well as the success stories are crucial as we all work together, government and non-government entities alike. Here in Kenya, a number of our cities and towns are located along our coasts, lakes and rivers. Mombasa, Malindi, Kisumu, Nairobi, in particular, offer investment opportunities in renewable energy, tourism, fish processing, storage, maritime transport, and shipping, amongst others. Many more opportunities are also available in water supply, sanitation, as well as waste management. Our counties here in Kenya have put together a portfolio of bankable investment projects in these areas. Many of these are at the exhibition at this conference, and I invite all of you to engage with our counties on these projects and to explore with them how you can collaborate together. We look forward to enhanced collaboration between city to city, town to town, and with governments, international organizations, and the business sector to sustainably grow our cities and our towns. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe we have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to shift increased urbanization onto a more environmentally sustainable and socially just path. Decisions made today on urbanization and land use models, as well as on critical infrastructure, will determine whether our investments are future-proof or whether they lock us onto an unsustainable future. The burden is heavy on national governments, but also on mayors and governors of cities to establish a new model for city governance and politics that support imaginative business propositions and experimentation.